Yo, what's up guys, this is Mosen here with MTA 45 for the 20th of December 2018 actually, still. Yeah, we're getting there, it's almost over, right, it's almost over. And the topics, a unique trinket, and we got reactive damage items and the Deathbone set. Or actually the Skoloman sets, let's put it that way, Skoloman sets, yeah. Well, as you can see here, right at the beginning, and this is actually an item that I think yesterday the Dodgy Kebab put out a video about all secrets, right? And this was something that I really didn't know about up until now. So I went and checked that item out that he was talking about, and it's Thunder Brew's Boot Flask. And what this is a quest reward from a very lengthy quest. You can check his video out on how to get it. Basically it unlocks at level 40 in Westfall. You know, the guy that gives you the all the brewing quests in Westfall. That's the one. And for some reason he unlocks a quest at level 40. So whoever the fuck went back and checked that out at level 40 in Westfall. But there you go. There's a fat quest line you can do if you're very bored, and you can get this sweet trinket. Now, you would technically be disappointed with this, right? It says deals 50 fire damage every 1 second for 5 seconds. So 250 fire damage, 5 seconds to anything around you, anything in front of you. And it has a 30-minute cooldown, so you wouldn't necessarily think that this is anything very good or anything you would really want, but then it turns out that the comments say apparently you can take this and go to neutral cities and everything, and guards won't aggro if you attack people with this. So that of course means that this would be a very cool troll item. I'll probably go and do this quest line and get it and try it out if you can go to Wretched and all that kind of stuff, and attack people with this, right? And then we'll see if the guards will aggro actually. So Thunder Brew's Boot Flask, and apparently you can kill people with this in neutral cities that are standing around. Maybe Booty Bay, kill some Bangals. I don't know. I think it's worth trying out if this is actually true. So there you go. This is one of the more. I've never seen this item before, I really gotta admit, this is something very new for me. I don't know if this is any good or bad. I mean, for certain AoE situations it might be something that you want to pick up. Other than that, I don't really know, I don't really get what it would be for. The second topic of the day, and it came in, it's from Reddit, and it comes in from Hippo of Doom. Right, and Hippo of Doom, he wants to play I think a Propelli and gear him up in maximum damage reflection, and he's looking for damage reflection items, and that kind of goes hand in hand with the last topics we had with life stealing and all. And so we can maybe sum it up now with like all the stuff that we found so far, and I've tested some stuff already, so maybe we can get into this list really quickly. And he says, of course, he wants to maximize the damage reflection output, on tanking or AoE grinding, better said. And of course, like the Nato Ring, right? The Nato Ring deals, I believe it was 3 or 4 arcane damage to anything that hits you. Reactive, and this is curly hair right here. That's annoying. Right, that deals damage when you get hit. The Ragnar's Trinket, Essence of Flame, deals, I believe it was 16 damage actually. 16 damage to anything that hits you, which is quite a bit. Razor Gauntlets, we can type in the Razor Gauntlets real quick. I'm gonna show you. Razor Gauntlets. These deal 3 arcane damage to attackers when you're hit. And then he has the A Demon Forge breastplate, I talked about that one. Again, it's a heal, it's a reactive thing. That's what he means. Like not only reactive damage, but I think he means, well, reactive damage in terms of leeching life from the target. But yeah. So drill borer disc after that obviously deals damage to anything that strikes you. And then he's asking what else we have. So let's go through his list first. The Nato Ring obviously is a good choice. It's one of the better ones for tanks. Nato, there we go. Nato Ring. And as you can see, it has stamina, armor, and actually also defense on it, which makes it very valuable, I think. And 3 arcane damage to anything that strikes you. And on a ring slot, that's very valuable. Now, compared to these gloves, for example, you're sacrificing a lot of stuff on gloves for 3 arcane damage you want to reflect. So on a ring, I would say it's good. On this one, on your gloves, I would say don't bother equipping these gloves here. If you want to maximize it, sure. I'm just saying it's probably just for fun. It's probably not worth it though. 3 arcane damage from your hand slot, where usually you have way better stats on. Meh. But this ring definitely is something to go after. Very, very good. Gets upgraded later though. At first it has like hit rating on it and arcane resistance or some shit. Then we have the Crest of Retribution. I actually would take this shield still with my prot if I could. I don't have it yet. I have the other shield. This one, I actually have this one here at the moment. The Argent Defender. And I gotta say, when this stuff procs here, the Argent Defender has a 1% chance, when struck, to increase your block chance by 50%. And as a propeller, you of course have Blessing of Sanctuary up, which will deal damage to a target when you block. And now your Holy Shield will also deal damage when you block. So when you have 50% increased block chance on top of your normal block chance, you can imagine the damage that's coming out. Everything gets blocked, and you just have like this huge numbers on your screen, and you're dealing a lot of damage. When this does proc, I've tested this. It's very cool. It's very strong. Only very good for an AoE tanking set though. The armor value is decent. It's a good starting shield. You get it from killing the end boss in Strat Life, and but it's 1% is very low. If it procs, it's very, very strong, but it's just such a low proc chance. So Crest of Retribution is more of a a solid choice if you're just tanking normally, and of course it's also good for AoE tanking. And since it deals damage actually when you do block, this would probably be more of a solid choice. Because the other one is just so rare that it's just, in my opinion, a little weak. And this one, anytime you do block, you just get something simple, and that is actually pretty good for a prot paladin at the start. So I would very much suggest this one. The Draconian Deflector for single target is of course way better because of the defense rating, which increases your block chance in general. This one is still good. Like if you're not struggling with defense, this is a chance to have. Like prot paladin in that case is all about having a couple of items in your inventory and switching them out depending on the fight, right? So that's key to prot. More on that in the prot paladin guide. So the Crest of Retribution, we had the Razor Gauntlets, then of course the Skull Flame Shield. Again, this is a very good shield, but for raiding purposes, not really a choice for MC Blackwing there because it's fire damage to proc. 1% again is not very high. Excuse me. And but it has a 3% chance when struck to steal life, and that usually scales with spell power, like the Demon Forged breastplate, which is something you can take. The thing is, for if you can get it, take it. I wouldn't necessarily spend all the money for this because it looks better than it is really. I mean, if you go through all the stuff, it's nice stuff. One or two for 5-man tanking, probably good. Again, I don't know. I'm not a huge fan of this. I wouldn't spend the money for it. Then we got the Thermoplug Central Core. This is for, for low level, if you're looking for something. 5% chance to inflict 35 to 66 nature damage. Pretty decent for a leveling shield. That's from Nomergan and Boss. This also is from Nomergan and Boss. I don't know why this was in the list. Because... okay. Lightning to anything in front of you. Also from the Nomergan and Boss. Then we got this one, the Masterwork Stormhammer. Now this actually looked, when I first saw this, I was like, this is the tanking weapon I need to get. You know, the pre-raid tanking weapon. It's quick, it has decent damage, and it has a chance on hit to do AoE damage. Like a Thunder Fury proc, kind of. Now the thing is though, it's just some damage, and if you look at the mats you need to spend to make this, it's not hugely expensive, but it's also not cheap either. And if you compare this with the mace from Zul'Farrak that, you know, basically does a thunderclap to everything around you, and that also deals a little bit of nature damage, only like 7 to 10, but it has this thunderclap on everything around you that reduces their attack speed. This is way better for tanking than this one, and you have to spend so much gold for this. Though this one is pretty quick, which is nice for tanking, and the other one's very slow. The Thunderclap one from ZF, it's 2.7, which is way too slow. And this one 2.0 is like a nice speed you can work with. Again, you can, you know, it's nice. I don't know, if you want to spend the money, it's a good weapon. Don't get me wrong. If you want to spend the money, you can also get Myra's Song from Scholomance for free, 1.8 speed. And there you go. You have so many choices, very much up for your whatever you prefer. Then we got this one, the Cloak of Flames, and this one actually drops from what was it? I can't remember, but apparently this is a random drop from you know, anything fire. And this one actually, wait, is this a recipe or a used to? Okay, so there's the first comment. Look, used to have a 1-to-1 spell power to damage ratio. So I need to go and test this out. Because it deals 5 fire damage to anyone who strikes you with a melee attack and has fire resistance. So this would be a good go-to choice if you want something for AoE and you still need a fire resistance cloak, right? So you could go and get this one. Of course, this won't do anything for you if you are if you're looking for something to, you know, the fire damage reflecting to anything in Molten Core and Black Rune there, most. But, you know, still 15 fire resistance and is on there, so you might as well just enchant this one with fire resistance maximum, and you know, put in your fire resistance set if you're a tank and you still need one. So I'm gonna go and get this one if I can. Yeah, and see how that one works out. I really need to put that one on the list. And then we got, lastly, the Fetish of Chitinous Spikes. And it's dropped by Buru the Gorger from AQ20, that is. And the use effect is you're basically gaining 25 damage thorns when hit for 30 seconds. And the cooldown isn't too bad, 3 minutes, so that's absolutely fine. So there you go, you have a lot of choices. This one particularly is something I want to check out. If this one scales with spell damage 100%, that would be crazy. I don't believe it does, but maybe somebody knows already. Cloak of Flames, how's the scaling? I'm gonna definitely go and check it out and see how it goes, and then we'll see. But there's a lot of choices here that you have if you like these reactive damage type of things. Keep in mind that you can also spec into improved retribution aura, or have somebody spec into it. And improved thorns, and that can, and the Ongoro consumable, what's it called? There's some, hold on. It's called Crystal Force. Was it Crystal Force? Crystal Force. I'm gonna look this up. Basically what it is a an item that reflects damage, right? It reflects damage, and making sense of it unlocks Crystal Restore, so you have like a hot one that scales with healing. Those are really good. These quests here from Ungoro Crater. When you turn in these power crystals, then you can, I think it was Crystal Charge. Okay, so this is basically a separate charge that doesn't deal damage to yourself, which is very nice, Crystal Charge. And then we have Crystal Spire, was that? Yeah. So Crystal Shield surrounds your friendly target, doing 12 damage to anyone who hits him for 10 minutes. And I mean, cooldown is 5 minutes, so you can keep this up if you like. I really need to go and get some of those as well. Because 12 damage reflection, that's also very, very interesting. So there you go, that's the damage reflection ones. Let's check if we forgot anything, but I don't think we did. Helm of Fire, actually. Reactive, well, the engineering shield, I don't have to speak about that, I think. Force Reactive Disc deals damage whenever you're blocking. Force Reactive Disc, no. When the shield blocks, it releases an electrical charge that deals damage to all nearby enemies. This is of course very, very good, but let me tell you that it also breaks very, very, very quickly. I've tried this and I had to, for a normal 5-man dungeon, I had to bring 2 of those and repair them afterwards, of course. It's not a big deal if you got the money, but for me it didn't really, I don't know, just didn't really feel all that well for me to use this. So build 2 of those, and for raiding environment, for again, like, it's key is having those items with you. And for example, for a big AoE pull when you're raiding Prot Pally, if you are, which, you know, very few of you will be, but also for warriors, if you're having a huge AoE pull, you can bring this and just equip it for that. Let's say the suppression room or suppression room in AQ40, or Fencris fight, or Nefarian when the skeletons spawn, right? You want to go in there and then you want to equip this, and that's where it turns out. It's a situational shield, like much like weapons, you know. I think that people swap out weapons and swap them around way too little. Of course, this is a really, really good shield. It's just very situational. You can't just have it on all the time. It will break eventually. And of course the shield spikes, right? Don't forget this. Thorium shield spike, or you can get the smaller ones, Mithril or Iron shield spikes. And those will deal damage when you block with this. I actually need to get one of those for my new shield here. But yeah, there you go. Those are the reactive damage things. And now I want to go into the Skullman's sets real quick. We're talking items here today, right? We're talking items. So I want to talk about the Deathbone set first. Okay, we're all talking you know, items that are actually very interesting. It's not even raid content, most of this stuff. You can get this without raiding, so, you know, do a job and get them. The Deathbone set. Now this is the upgraded version. This will be released in AQ, or however, you know, whenever, you know, Blizzard feels like how the item progression is going to be. We don't know that yet, but Deathbone set, absolute biz for a lot of you know, classes actually. Now this is probably on par with tier 1 for prop paladins compared to, you know, the tier 1 of warriors. But also for warriors, this is very, very good. Mainly for the prot paladin, so because of the huge mana regen it has. It has everything: a lot of armor, a lot of stamina, a lot of defense, and excuse me again, a lot of mana per 5. And the mana per 5 is really what makes this interesting, because this is one of the biggest struggles that prot paladins really do have, right? The mana regen, right? The mana regen is a big key issue for them. And so just this chest, just check this out, just these plus 17 defense will give you, I believe it was like 1 point, let's be exact here, right? 0.04 times 17. This gives you 0.68, so 0.7 block, parry, dodge, less chance to be crit, more chance to be missed, rating. You know, and that's amazing. Just from one piece, from one piece. So you can, what did we say? Parry, block, dodge, chance to be crit, and chance to be missed. 5. So if you factor this in times 5, this gives you 3.4% avoidance altogether, which is amazing. We can go on. Let's take a look at the set Boni. What do you say in English? Boni. First, so increased defense by 3. That's a 2 set. That's very solid. You equip 2 of those pieces. You're set, right? That's basically all you need. 2 pieces of this set. If you are advanced in raiding, you can still keep 2 of those, and you have a lot of defense coming out of this. This means there's like 20 defense just on these. Then the 3 set bonus is shit, 50 armor, but 4 set is very interesting again. Coming in at 15 to all resistances. And again, you want to have 4 set, or you just want to have the 5 set in your bags. And if there's a fight where you need a lot of resistance, or it comes in handy when whatever you're tanking, you know, you can swap in the 4th set piece and have that 15 to all resistances. If you don't have anything better, this is a brokenly, well, not broken, but it's a very strong set bonus, because 15 to all resistances is not nothing. Resistances are a little bit underrated, to be quite honest. And the 5 set bonus would then be a another parry, which a parry just completely neglects, you know, just completely puts the boss's attack to 0. So it's very good. It's very good. And so yeah, overall a very good set. Let's look at the rest of the set real quick. We have the gauntlets, the belt, the hands, belt, legs, and the boots. And the boots do have 10 defense and 6 MP5 at 9 stamina. So the boots are probably one of the better items as well, because there's not many alternatives that you can get as a, you know, prot, warrior / prot paladin, once they're upgraded. Of course there are alternatives, but since you can get this from a 5-man dungeon, this is pretty strong. Just keep that in mind. The gauntlets, the hands have 10 defense again, you know, 4 mana per 5 and 14, so let's add all of these up. 10, 10. Then the belt has 9, so we're at 29 at the moment. Stamina another, you know, MP5. We're 29, and then the legs very strong as well. 20 stamina, 13 defense, and another MP5 stat on top. So we were at 29. That's 32, 42. The set bonus is 3. 45, and then the chest comes in with 17, so 55 and 7 is 62 if I'm not mistaken. 62 defense from this set, right? 62 times 0.04. This gives you 2.48, you know, in each avoidance mitigation stat. Dodge, parry, miss, crit, beam, you know, all of that kind of stuff. So if you take that times the 5 stats, it's 12.4% avoidance from the set, and a lot of mana, and a lot of stamina, and a lot of armor. So this set is broken. I just wanted to get that out there. Maybe you didn't know. Most people know. I know that, but there's also always a lot of fresh players. I strongly suggest getting this. Even if you're a holy pally and you like to have like an offset for tanking, grind Scholomance and you'll have the best set. This was a long one, so I apologize for that, but you know, you guys deserve some content. I've been away for a long time. I'm gonna fire up the stream right now. I thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you in the next MTA. By the way, the guild on Northdale, we have like, we're up for 2 days. We recruited like 50 people, all above level 50. It's on. If you want, join in, be quick. We're on Northdale called Etecc, and I'll see you in the next one.